Shabbat Shalom, everybody. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High, Ahaya, for another beautiful, beautiful Shabbat that He is allowing us to be alive and come together and bring His word for motivation and fuel of our people. How is everybody doing? All praises to the Most High. We are so glad to be alive and to be here. What can we say? We really have a lot to be thankful for with the Most High, because if it wasn't for the Most High's grace, with everything that is going on around the world, we wouldn't be here, right? So we have a lot to be thankful for, and so we come before His presence and we say, Abba Father, thank you, because if it wasn't for your will and for your grace, we wouldn't be opening our eyes. We wouldn't have the peace that we still have that other people don't have. But welcome to our Shabbat class. All praises to the Most High forever and ever. This is Praying Together as One Ministries, your beautiful sister Chela with all of you. I hope that all of you understand that today we have a special event planned for our survivors of sexual abuse and domestic violence chat. And so with that presentation and that live that we're going to be having, we're going to be doing our class today for Women's Shabbat a little bit sooner and shorter, but still packed mighty powerful with the word of the Most High. So again, for all of those that are questioning why we're starting early, it's because we have another event to speak to our sisters and young women that are survivors of domestic violence and sexual abuse. That's another chat that I have exclusively for women. If you want to be part of it today at 4:30, please DM me, please questions. Go ahead and inbox me, go ahead and ask me anything you need, and I'll see if I can add you and you can log in and directly be on the live. It's going to be through Facebook for our women only, part of the domestic violence group. So that is going to be for today's event. But for today's class, we have a beautiful mini lesson prepared for all our beautiful sisters and anybody who wants to join alike. So what is today's class? What did the Spirit speak about? Well, with everything that I have been seeing going on in our sisters, and with everything that I've been praying about, and with every prayer that I have answered, I think it's about time that we talk about the metamorphosis of the soul. The metamorphosis of the soul. Now, many of you are going to go, Sister Michelle, what is that? What is the change of the soul? That's exactly what it is. It's a change, a altering state of change for our physical and our interior soul. Okay, and today we're going to briefly touch on those things so that we can help a lot of our women and even our brothers who are out there transitioning from, being the good old, Christian believers or Hebrew members of these Hebrew churches that never really got to see or even feel a change in their life or their hearts, right? And when you feel that burden on you, that you're like, man, I've been going to church for so and so long, I've been doing this for so and so long, why am I not feeling the change? Why am I not seeing the change? A lot of times it has to do with the simple fact that there's something lacking, but we're going to approach that from a more spiritual perspective so that we can understand what it is when we enter these changes. So again, Shabbat Shalom to everybody. All praises to the Most High. The subtitle is going to be From a Carnal Body to a Spiritual Ascension. From a carnal body to a spiritual ascension. The base text we are going to read right now is Romans 12:2, and it says this: And be not conformed to this world, but be you transformed by the renewing of your mind. Okay, by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is good and acceptable and the perfect will of the Most High. Okay, so right there, you can already see that it's addressing the simple fact that we have to renew our mind. not by religious means, but by the simple fact that through Christ becoming our light inside of our life, we now have to think like him, feel like him, right? We no longer have that immature view of things, but we now have the mind like Christ. So when he renews your mind, you start to shed layers and layers and more layers of false indoctrinations, lies, deceptions, and rulership of men, rulership of leaders, politicians, the government, the system, everything. So now you no longer are under the deception of man's dogmas and man's commands, but your mind is now completely transformed with the wisdom of Rabuwak, with the love of Christ, with his divinity and his presence, right? So that is key when we're reading Romans 12:12, to understand that it's not just the metamorphosis of the soul, it's the renewing and the transformation of your whole being as a whole, your mind, your heart, your spirit, right? We are living in a world that has ultimately altered and changed how we operate, becoming dead beings. Okay? And the truth is that we walk dead with no light and no life in us because we are not in Christ, or because we don't have Christ. And I'm talking about not the physical presence of Christ, but I'm talking about having Christ, like his light, his love inside of you. You don't have that, so you have a life void of Christ, therefore you walk in darkness, okay? So how can we expect to grow or evolve or ascend and change, the dead state we are currently trapped in? If you don't have Christ, and if you don't have his ascension and his power, how in the world are you going to leave the dead state that you're in? Right? In order for us to leave the dead state that we're in, you need to be able to wake up and really start feeling the divine presence of Christ in you. Real talk, brothers and sisters. Like, this is legit. This is why you have so many Christians and so many Hebrew believers within a church system, within a Hebrew camp, but they never ever really grow. They never ever really transform, ascend, change, evolve. They stay the same. Their process is whack. It's stumped. You don't see the growth. And a lot of us have to question, what is it that I'm missing? Well, truth be told, what is it that you're missing? You have to question yourself sometimes and think, well, what is it that I'm missing? What is it that is keeping me from getting to that place where I'm going to truly change, where I'm going to truly be a transformed soul, right? And a lot of us don't ask ourselves that question, and that is detrimental to our spiritual well-being. Let's continue. We need to purge out the dead old ways in order to come out of the place that enslaves us in the first place. So how can we do this? How can we do this? The first steps are admitting that you are foolish and that you have no real knowledge or understanding of your walk, and that you are uneventfully walking in in ignorance, blind, darkness, with no light, with no wisdom. Okay? So let's take a look. 1 Peter 2:15 tells you this. For so is the will of the Most High, that with well-doing ye may put to silence the ignorance of foolish men. Okay? Now further on in Romans 1:21, it says, because that when they knew God, they glorified him not as God, neither were thankful, but became vain in their imaginations, and their foolish heart was darkened. Why would you take us there, Sister Michelle? Let me explain why. Look at the society we are living in now, and look at the world that our youth is growing up in. Go ahead and take a look at that and compare that to Romans 1:21. Listen, there's a lot of people who say God this, God here, God blah, 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 but they're really not. One, being thankful with him for everything he's doing or done, and they truly are not worshiping the Most High Creator, God of heaven and earth, okay, as we should be. So I'm going to say it again, because that when they knew God, being our people have always known who God and the Creator is. Yes, they've always known. But look at this. It goes on to tell you, but they glorified him not as God, neither were they thankful. I mean, imagine being the God that created you, gave you life and everything, just like a parent. And he sees that, one, you're not glorifying him as God, and two, you are not thankful for everything that he does, just like a parent. He gives you birth, they keep a roof over your head, they give you education, and you're still an ungrateful child. Okay, and then you become vain in your imaginations and in your foolish heart, and then it becomes dark. Our children leave the house, they go about their crap, they go about their BS friends, they go and they waste their inheritance, and then they sit there foolishly and they're living with, a broke dollar and no place to live, in darkness, in foolishness. Now the same is for this generation, brothers and sisters. Brothers and sisters in truth that are not growing, a generation without knowing God, children being raised by children and ignorant children at that. And then you have people who say they're serving God and call upon God, but all they think about is greed and what they can gain out of it. Oh my God, God, I love you so much. I promise I'm going to serve you the next day. Hey, I got a shot of tequila. Look, I got $100 that I'm going to waste. Really? I mean, is that the example that we want to set for our children? That God is replaceable and temporary? A temporary fix? Now look at this. And this is why in children and when they were young, in order for them to change or mature or grow up out of their foolish hearts, we also need to be corrected and disciplined and guided. When we were children, what did our parents do in order to help us mature and gain better understanding, in order for us to stop the stupidity? Shalom, sis. In order for children to mature and level up, we have to discipline them. Because children are foolish. Children will trust everybody. Children will blow their budgets of their first job. Children will go and hang out with the wrong crowd. Children will be curious about drugs and about sex. Listen, this is the problem. When parents are not bringing open discipline and rebuke to the youth, you have a youth that is going to foolishly make so many mistakes over and over and over again. And when they reach 19, 20, and 22 years old, they're going to be fools. Fools, brothers and sisters. You hear me? Because children need discipline. Children need guidance. Let us read Proverbs 22:15. Foolishness is bound in the heart of a child, but the rod of correction shall drive it from him. And I'm not talking about beating them with a stick. God, no. God I'm not talking about pounding them. Listen, brothers and sisters, I'm talking about you gotta be persistent. No means no. Stop giving them tablets and phones. Your children are never gonna grow if you have them stuck in front of a stupid technology device. Or if you're sending them off to their friend's house to do whatever so you can have some me time. Or if you're letting them sit in front of a stupid television 24 hours because you're too lazy to do your job. This is why we have a generation of people who don't evolve. They don't metamorphosis into the next evolving state of consciousness because we have stupid parents that don't know God, raising children and letting the world, music, and technology raise their babies because they're in ignorance and therefore they're raising children in ignorance. We have got to break the cycle, and we need to understand for ourselves that we need to metamorphosis out of this unconscious state, out of the stupidity, out of the dumbness of this matrix that is keeping our young men and women that become moms and parents blind. We have got to do better. So with this being said, once we accept and we know nothing and that we are foolish, we can then, through Ruach wisdom, which is mother, we can start to receive the true and deep understanding. And once you have the truth shall set you free. So remember, first you have to come to a place where you sit there and you go, I'm an idiot. I'm a foolish. I know nothing, Most High. I'm an ignorant soul and I need you, Mother Wisdom. The minute that you come to that realization is the minute that the Most High Ahaya can start working in you. And if you are a young person dealing with foolish parents, it's through you that you're going to bring understanding to your parents that are in that kind of ignorance. So what does that mean? Okay, and it just means that you have to come to the terms of realizing I don't know anything. You, Most High, know everything, but you are going to guide me so that I may have that understanding. Khan? And when that happens, you will start to see blessing upon blessing. You'll start to see things from a different perspective. You will start to see that things don't just look a certain way from this perspective, but you're going to start seeing things with a very deep understanding with the soul, okay? Not just with your physical eyes. Secondly, okay, we need to start tearing off, ripping off, taking off the layers of sin and deception. You need to start taking off the many layers of sin that keep you bound, that keep you chained, that keep you in your worldly desires, that keeping you thinking, I need to smoke pot, I need to do this, I need to go drink, and I need to get laid, I need to go smoke, I need to go pop some cocaine, or I need to go inject some shit into my body. So listen, you first need to start with accepting that you're wrong, that you have no wisdom, and that you need him in order to have that understanding. And number two, you need to be able to accept that you need to start ripping off those layers no matter how much it hurts. Oh, but I learned in college that, this and this is what I need to do. I learned in college that, this was the truth. I learned in my sorority that this is the way I need to go, that this is the career that I need to take. I was taught at home that this and this and this was good, that I need to do this and this. Stop it. Stop it. We've all been indoctrinated and miseducated in one way or another. Stop it. Stop it. Unless that wisdom comes from the Most High, you have been lied to. Khan, you've been lied to. So we need to start ripping off layers and layers and layers of sin, of lies, deception, the many, many veils that the world tries to put upon you. So you have veil number 1, the education system. Veil number 2, living in sin. Veil number 3, trust the system. Veil number 4, those are my friends. They have the best intentions at heart. You gotta let the Most High show you that you've been submerged in a pool of deception and filth. Okay? Proverbs 26 and 28 tells you, a lying tongue hateth those that are afflicted by it, and a flattering mouth worketh ruin. Okay? We are being ruled under the deception and illusion of the wicked leaders who continually lie and oppress our people. Okay? They continually lie and oppress our people. So better understanding of this is their words cannot be trusted whatsoever. They work in deceit, and you, my brothers and sisters, are their target. Okay? You are their target. So it is time to wake up out of that and realize, hey, they are not for you. They are not here to offer you the best life that you can have and the best opportunities. They do that for their own kind. But for you, they only desire to keep you in that enslaved mental mentality, that state of mind, in a deep sleep, lying to you, deceiving you. Do you really, really believe that with everything that is happening in Ukraine right now, with the East, the attacks from Russia and Putin, do you really want to believe in your mind that they are giving you the complete 411 of what's going down? If that was the case, why didn't they talk a little bit about what Biden went to talk about Putin with? What was their reunion about? What was their conversation about? What things are being said that the people are not being told? That is why a few months back, I told everybody there's 2 presidents. The one that protects the new world order and the one that is still for the people. Trump was for the people, and Biden is for the new world order, representing the reptilians and the new world order agenda. Get that straight. And once they removed Trump, they kept you with the deceiver, the antichrist leaders and false prophets that are paving the way for the antichrist. Removing Trump, they no longer have somebody that's representing the rights of the people and the protection of the people. Removing Trump, they now have complete and total tyrannical control and communist agendas in hand to enslave you furthermore. Because they do not desire for your spiritual awakening. Please understand that. They do not desire your spiritual awakening. If there's one thing they despise and fear, is the uprising of an awakened soul. And you are inside of a vessel that can take down their system if you know who you are and you come to your true purpose and understanding of what your mission here on planet Earth is. And they don't want that. These Archons have never wanted that for your kind. Okay? This is what they fear. They fear that you're going to tap into your inner powers, that Christ kingdom and divinity within you as light beings and a direct extension of the Creator. They fear that. They fear that, okay? Never forget that. They fear you. They fear you with such a passion, brothers and sisters. So, Romans 8 and 7 tells you because the control, I don't know why I read control there, but please forgive me, Salaksha. So Romans 8 and 7 tells you because the carnal mind is enmity against the Most High, for it is not subject to the law of the Most High, neither indeed can it be. Why? Because if you are part of the matrix, you are never going to be part of the Most High's kingdom. If you are stuck here, you're never going to transverse the many dimensions to reach back to the Father and go home. You cannot be a carnal mind trapped and carnally serving the masters of this world, but yet think that you can be part of the kingdom of the Most High and be part of his lineage, right? So again, you can, the carnal mind, the mind that is still trapped here, doing the fleshly desires and following the matrix and its corruption and its ways and doing what the world is telling you to do. Listen, that's part of the problem. That's part of the problem. Remember, that stuff is not going to bring you salvation. Okay? It is not. So remember, they love to keep our people in a carnal state of mind. Therefore, this way they know that your mind will never grow, that it won't ascend, that you won't wake up out of the labyrinth of lies, that they can entrap you here forever and ever and ever and use your energy and fuel themselves off of you and your mind. So keep that in mind, okay? We must come out of that physical mindset in order for Christ to start working in setting us free of our worldly afflictions, of our worldly desires, and of the worldly deception that we've been taught all our lives, because we were born inside of this matrix. Our physical bodies are trapped here, okay? The metamorphosis of the soul. A change of the form or nature of a thing or person into a completely different one, by natural or by supernatural means. Isn't that beautiful? So to metamorphosis is a change. And when you experience Christ and a deep, deep relationship with Ahaya, out of religious control and deception, and outside of how you were and how you were taught to obey him by written laws and the laws of men and following him in a book, when you self-discover your purpose in the Christ divinity within you, something starts to happen. You experience a type of awakening or a spiritual stir or a fire within you like you've never, ever experienced. We healers like to call that a spiritual euphoria. Okay? That's what we like to call it, a spiritual euphoria. So, what does euphoria mean? What does it actually mean? Pay attention to this. This is why I always tell you, everything is interconnected. Every single thing. So, when you have these doctors telling you you're never going to heal, you have cancer, you have this, you have that, you're going to die of this, you're going to die. Listen, this is just the system speaking curses over your life because they've never wanted to see our people heal. But I'm going to show you something mighty powerful today. So pay attention because this gets really good really quick before we, close out today, because I have to go on to our next live for our sisters. But look at this. What is euphoria? Euphoria is a feeling of well-being. Woo! Yes! I feel great. I feel healed. I feel free. I feel like singing. I feel like dancing. I feel like praying. Whoo! I'm 60, 70 years old, but I'm going to go out there for a walk. I'm going to do my exercise. I'm going to feel well. I don't have dementia. I don't have arthritis. I don't have this. I don't have that. Whoo! A feeling of well-being or elation. Whoo! Constantly feeling like you're high or elevated or just somewhere else outside of this place that drowns your energy, sucks the life out of you. Yeah? This well-being is you on your way to being free. To freeing your soul. Okay? And your mind and your body. You've now come to the highest form of ascension and peace and higher consciousness. They can no longer touch you, trap you, or dumb you down with their lies. Woo! Somebody give them praise. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Metamorphosis of the soul. You need that in your life. We need that in our life. Woo! Wow! Wow, 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 wow. Talk about spiritual high, huh? Yes. This is why the people out here in this world, without Christ, without being truly awakened, without that spiritual knowledge, without Rawuwak, Mother Sophia, Mother Wisdom, okay? Without Christ, without power, without the love of his presence, without any of these things, you have people that are going to be seeking worldly and material gain, okay? And pleasures, pleasures of the world that have nothing to do to define their true spiritual essence, okay? And so they lose the essence of their soul, and then she, the soul, can never return to the love of her home, of her creator, of her maker, okay? Hence the verse, Mark 8:36. We're going to read it in a minute. That is the reason we can look into what it means when we read Mark 8:36. The love of the world. The love of, I need a position. I'm going to make it here. I'm a lawyer. I'm a doctor. I'm this. I'm that. Physical and material gain. Oh, I have a baby. I don't have a husband, but I have a baby. It's called my home, my Gucci, my Prada, my shoes, my bag. Material gain. Okay? They are so trapped here without the light, without the power of Christ in their life, that what they love and what they struggle to gain in this world is physical and worldly. Now let's read Mark 8:36 and pay attention to this. For what shall it profit a man if he gain the whole world? It's not talking about gaining the world. It's just talking about the crap inside of it, right? Buying plasma TVs, buying a brand new car, buying the latest brand model phone, getting lip surgery, face reconstruction, liposuction in your body, butt injections, dudes buying the most expensive Jordans and spending thousands of dollars on their honey. Listen, again, Mark 8:36, for what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world but lose his own soul? So, what gain do you have? Really? What gain do you have that you gained all this nonsense? 250 pairs of shoes in your closet. You go to the most dopest games of the season. You got the hottest hotties. But guess what? you lost your soul. Amen. Khan. All right. So what profit is it? You gained all of that, but you lost your soul. What was the purpose of that? Spiritual gain and richness is mightier than any physical BS. So keep that in mind. Like I said, you could have the best looking bags, the best ones. The dopest shoes. But what profit is it to your soul? Sometimes we need to sit and reflect on these things, brothers and sisters, because it's true. Let the world have everything. I rather gain my soul. I rather, find my way back to the Creator. Our soul weeps because she is lost away from the Creator, away from the Most High, from her home. So now you see why now more than ever is when this purging and emerging of the new you has to occur. This has to happen. Okay? The Most High has never intended for you to lose your soul. So let's allow ourselves to come back home, as this world's judgment will show whom belongs to whom. And we're going to close this class with the Nag Hammadi scriptures. And we are going to talk about we're going to read about how the souls are going to be purified as all these apocalyptic signs appear. So you understand there's a war going on, and you understand the purpose according to scripture of why it's happening. Okay, that's fine. But you have to understand why the Most High is purifying souls, purging souls, detoxifying our inner aeon. Because in order for us to be able to make it back into the spirit aeon of beauty, we need to be able to purge first and purify our souls. So let us read Nag Hammadi, page 400, chapter 45. Look at this. When he has completed the time set for the kingdom of the earth, the purification of souls will occur. For wickedness has become stronger than you. The powers will tremble. All the seas will dry up. The firmament will not send down dew. The springs will stop giving water. The rivers will no longer flow. Back to their springs, the waters of the springs of the earth will stop flowing. The depths will be laid bare and will lie open. The stars will expand, and the sun will stop shining. I shall withdraw with all those who know me. They will enter into immeasurable light, where there is no being of flesh or seduction of fire to seize them. They will be free and holy, and no one will be able to drag them down. I am protecting them with my hand, and they have a holy garment that fire cannot touch. Next are darkness, wind, and a moment as short as the blink of an eye. Then he will come to destroy everything. They will be chastised until they are pure. The period of time allotted for them to have power is 1,468 years. When the fire has consumed everything and can find nothing else to burn, it will extinguish itself. Then the judgment of fire, which is the second power, will be completed. Brothers and sisters, when the Most High brings these wars and these things upon the earth, he is purging the soul. Is it devastating to think that we're going to die? Is it devastating that we have to die for Yeshua's namesake? No. Is it sad to think that even our children will have to endure all these things? Yes, it is. Nobody's lying about these things. Nobody's saying this is an easy process. But what I will tell you is we have to understand the purpose of these things coming to pass and why they have to come to pass. So let us remember that when we go into this metamorphosis, it is the best thing that can happen to us. To evolve, to change, to ascend to that place where we no longer are going to be viewing things at a physical level, but at a spiritual level. And I want you to look at this because this is pretty powerful. I was mentioning to you guys that to us healers, this process is called spiritual euphoria, which is like a spiritual high. But I want to show you what it means on a deeper level so you guys can really understand and grasp that when this happens, you are now ascending into this new place where you are going to now free your soul, your mind, and your body. You are going to feel elevated and elated, and you're going to feel this overall sense of well-being. That is a beautiful thing. And your soul is going to rejoice because she now is going to be able to enjoy, being free and ascending back into the Father, back to the Creator, back to her Maker. Okay? So all praises to the Most High. But let me read this to you before we close out. Spiritual ecstasy. Spiritual ecstasy is a type of altered state of consciousness, not what the government tries to do to you, but this is spiritual, is a type of altered state of consciousness characterized by greatly reducing external awareness. You don't concern yourself so much about the things that are around you and the physical things that are here, but you start to expand into an interior mental and spiritual awareness, okay? Frequently accompanied by visions and emotional and sometimes a physical euphoria, okay? So when this starts to happen, you then are now tapping into your inner psychic abilities to be able to receive, to be a receiver that is going to receive God's revelations, God's visions, hear him more closely, be teletransported into the future, maybe go back into the past. Use your telekinesis, use all those inner supernatural powers to be able to speak and understand certain tongues. Listen, this all is interconnected. That's why you have to go back and watch a lot of my other classes. This is the new and reborn you. Own it. Enjoy it. Fight to get to this place where your soul is at a metamorphosis. And do not forget, it is the purging of your soul, the purification process. It is going to hurt. Yes, it hurts to not, accept that the whole time you were worshiping that cross was not bringing you salvation. It's okay. But the best part about it is, as you rip those things off like a Band-Aid that's been sitting on your skin for days, the feeling that comes afterwards, the feeling of knowing that you're healed, that you're free, there's no better feeling, brothers and sisters. So thank you for tuning in to our beautiful, short and brief class. To all my beautiful sisters that are going to be tuning in at Survivors of Domestic Violence and Sexual Abuse, I will see you guys at 4:30. Anybody who wants the link or who wants to join in where we might be exchanging testimonies, please send me a link on Facebook, DM me here or on Messenger, email, or even on Instagram. This was Praying Together as One Ministry. Shabbat Shalom. May you all enjoy the rest of your Shabbat. This was Sister Chella with all of you. I love you, and I will see you all soon. Or for the sisters that are going to join in, I will see you guys all later. Shalom.